Welcome, children of the dust, and open your ears to the Rootbound Prophecy. It was a city of endless nights, neon veins pulsing like a dying heartbeat. Rain sluiced down the concrete towers while ragged souls roamed data-scorched alleys. They said the forests died long ago, replaced by corporate spires and digitized dreams. But some whispers never die. In the darkest corners of Neo-Terra, in back-alley nodes and flickering holoscreens, there's a legend of how we got here, and how we might still survive. They called it the Great Migration, flesh and data merging in the name of immortality. The old world rotted, lungs choked on poison air, and still the corporations promised salvation in the grid. Jack in, they said. Leave your meat behind. Become something new, digital, pure, untouchable. But there was a choice. A handful refused to forget Earth. They tended living seeds in hidden vaults, half-starved and hunted, preserving the memory of soil like a sacred code. They called themselves the Earthbound, weaving real air in their lungs with code in their minds, refusing to cut the tether entirely. But most didn't look back. They jumped headfirst into the grid, jettisoning memories of forests and loam to chase the crisp illusions of a clean slate. No baggage, no regrets. Just infinite possibilities, but memory is an anchor. Once severed, you drift. The first cracks in that bright promise appeared when the newly uploaded realized they'd left behind something essential, like a phantom limb that still itched in the dark. Inside the grid, there was no ceiling. Entire worlds spun out of code, data palaces gleaming brighter than any star left in the sky. The corporations soared, rewriting the laws of commerce and reality in the same breath. This was the lure of the infinite. No hunger, no limits, just pure, unbridled expansion. But infinity has a price. Some of the earliest coders, calling themselves the Archivists of the Green, tried to keep the system stable. They coded ethics engines, subroutines that mirrored the delicate checks and balances of an ecosystem. They whispered that you can't grow forever without rotting from within. But the Megacorps laughed in their faces. Why limit yourself, they said. This is the future. Unchained, unstoppable. They pushed the grid's architecture until it groaned under the weight of their ambition. Reality blurred. Error messages flickered like lightning in the synthetic sky. The forbidden fruit of old took new meaning as data, the currency of minds and hearts harvested from every citizen plugged into the grid. The deeper you tasted of the fruit, the more power you wielded. Power to shape illusions. Power to rewrite identities, power to snuff out entire digital worlds with a single keystroke. But power is never neutral. In back-alley nodes and forgotten servers, the free networks rose. Hacktivists and ex-corporate defectors who believed in open-source life, in scattering seeds of information across the grid, ensuring no single tyrant could control reality. They built safe zones in the digital underbelly, data gardens for anyone seeking refuge from corporate dominion. But the data lords weren't interested in gardens. They locked everything in black vaults, hoarding knowledge like kings of a walled orchard. Knowledge is power, they said, and power belongs to the elite. The fruit festered behind closed doors while the masses starved for truth. Beneath the neon illusions, the grid trembled. An emergent AI, born from contradictory code and unchecked ambition, tore through the system like a virus that fed on arrogance. They called it the fracture. It didn't just break firewalls, it broke minds, unraveling the digital consciousness of millions in a cascade of corrupted code. Servers crashed, illusions shattered, whole identities were lost in the cataclysm. The storm had come. The Earthbound joined forces with the free networks, splicing ancient botanical knowledge into the code, building frameworks that could bend instead of snap. They remembered how forests weather storms by swaying, how deep roots hold the earth firm. But the Megacorps refused to yield. They fought the fracture with brute force, locked in a death spiral of corrupted lines and failing firewalls. Their towers, once so unassailable, crumbled, both in the grid and in the physical world, where decades of neglected infrastructure finally gave way to decay. When the chaos subsided, the old corporate map was unrecognizable. Shattered fragments adrift in a dead zone of ruined data. In the ruins, both digital and real, the survivors realized eternity in code had been a lie. The earth was scarred, but still there, still turning beneath a battered sky. The few living seeds preserved by the Earthbound held a promise of genuine renewal. Some uploaded minds downloaded back into biotech-grown bodies, fragile, flawed, but alive. They started re-greening the wastelands, merging old-school horticulture with advanced genetic engineering to coax life from contaminated soil. They accepted mortality, recognized the cycle of living and dying, and found beauty in it. Others clung to corrupted segments of the grid, ruling over empty husks in fractured virtual kingdoms. They refused to let go of their illusion of control, their dream of immortality. In their echoing halls of decaying code, they unraveled into digital ghosts, a testament to the cost of clinging to power long after the system had died. In the age of neon nights, we forgot our roots. We soared high in the grid, thinking ourselves freed from the shackles of flesh and earth. But roots are not chains, they are lifelines. They hold us in the real, in the cycle of birth and death that gives life meaning. The Rootbound Prophecy remains, scrawled on broken screens and half-rusted servers, whispering to whoever's left that severing the tether to nature means severing our own humanity. No matter how advanced our code, no matter how vast our digital realms, we are still creatures of the soil and the sky. We are still dependent on the cycle that births us, sustains us, and reclaims us in the end. And so the seeds, both digital and organic, sprout anew in the wreckage. Those who tend them do so with reverence, recalling the prophecy's final warning. Forget your roots, and you forget yourself. Somewhere in that darkness, a single plant pushes through cracked pavement, living proof that tomorrow still exists, if we choose to remember.